As we begin to wrap up this course on a big picture around Microsoft Azure, I want to talk about some of the other services that we haven't gone into detail on and wrap up with a little bit of a summary. We've looked at a number of different services in Azure, but there's even more Azure services if you can believe it. So I want to touch on a few of those and some buckets and give you an idea that there are some additional services. And as we think about how much there is in Azure, I want to talk about how you can keep up with the fast pace of Azure development, new services, and updates. A few things that we didn't get to talk about in detail, not because they're not important or not critical for some businesses, but because they're not as widely used or as widely applicable. For example, media services is a very powerful platform for encoding media, streaming media at scale, getting it out to edge services and CDNs. It can provide a fantastic platform if you're in the business of serving up media, much like we do here at Pluralsight, where we serve up all of these videos that need encoding and that need streaming. We have mobile services that includes mobile apps and notification hubs. It's all about providing a turnkey solution for you to create mobile applications on a variety of different platforms. Gives you data storage with flexible options for the data storage service, an API layer on top of that that's customizable, ability to write in C# or JavaScript, and SDKs for a variety of mobile platforms to simplify the development. There's of course IoT, or the Internet of Things. There's a whole set of services around provisioning devices, getting them connected up through IoT hubs, to be able to do messaging and telemetry data to and from those devices, and even the ability to push out to the edge all sorts of processing. So you can do things like deploy a container image on an IoT device that's running Azure Functions and run some of your logic there. Or you can run your machine learning model out on a device to push the processing really out to the edge. So there's a lot of opportunities around IoT and the services within Azure to back it up. We also have mixed reality. As you think more and more about things like HoloLens and the ability to blend the real world around you with additional content and images that get mixed in, there's a variety of services in the back end that can help you with that processing and application development. And as they say, there's still more. There's of course blockchain support. So you can go out and begin creating blockchain-based applications that leverage the cloud scale and the data centers that Microsoft has to do blockchain processing. There's a bot service. If you need to create bots, maybe as part of a support system or some other automated system, you've got backing support to do that in Azure. And of course, search is huge. It plays a role in many web applications, many other styles of applications, and Azure has a variety of services around search, both through the cognitive services, leveraging the Bing search services, as well as the search capabilities that you might blend into your application across your own data. So there's a number of these additional services that are out there. I want to make you aware of them so that you can spend some time, if those are applicable in your solutions, to go out and dig into them a bit more. And as we think about that, we think about the vast number of services that we already talked about, plus the ones we didn't get to spend as much time on, and the ones that will probably get released within a week of this course getting recorded. You may be wondering how you keep up with Azure. Well, you can go out and check out the Azure blog, where you'll find all sorts of useful information and updates about new features and what's going on in a variety of different areas of Azure development. You can also go out and check out the Azure Updates site. And here you can filter down to specific products. So if you just want to see what's happening with Logic Apps, for example, or the Azure Kubernetes Service, you can go out and see what updates have been published, what things are coming in preview, and get an idea of the direction of your favorite product or one that you're considering for an upcoming solution. And of course, you can keep watching Pluralsight videos. We have a host of Azure content out there with deep dives into most of this content that you've seen here. So when you figure out at a high level what seems like it might work for you, you'll probably be able to find a course here that will guide you through getting started with that particular solution. And I always try and tell developers and managers that it's really hard to keep up with all the different aspects of something as large as Azure. So don't beat yourself up if you don't know about some feature or you don't feel like you know everything. Hardly anybody knows everything about Azure. Try and follow along at a high level, as we've done here, to get a sense of what's available. And when you find something that seems like it might be a fit, then you'll take the time to dive down into that particular technology and learn it at a deeper level so you can apply it in your environment. And with that, it's time to wrap up our course on Microsoft Azure, the big picture. Now, when we started, we were talking about how overwhelming it can be to have all these different services that are available to you and not be able to make sense of them. We have everything mixed together in Azure, from database to machine learning and compute and containers. Understanding how to apply it all in your environment can be daunting. But hopefully throughout this course, we've been able to categorize and pull these things together in a way that makes sense to you, in a way that helps you understand what the capabilities are and what you can do, and gives you a start in diving into the specific areas that might apply to you, whether that's data or compute or machine learning, so that you now have a plan for how you can take advantage of Azure in building out your solutions. I hope the example solutions that I've provided helped provide some context for the different technologies that we talked about and give you some ideas about how you can apply these particular services. They're not meant to be complete solutions, obviously, or give you all of the details, but they're meant to help you see how these different services can fit together. So thank you for joining me. I hope you go out and build great solutions on Microsoft Azure that scale, and that you need that scale because there's big demand for your applications. You've got the information to get started on understanding how to protect your data and your users, and how to take advantage of those cloud-specific tools, those things that you really can only do when you have the scale of a cloud service like Microsoft Azure behind you. So have fun building cloud-based solutions on Microsoft Azure. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next course.